A lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners, they have a product, they have a service, they have some way that they want to bring their own unique talents and unique selling proposition and service to the world. And the product is incredible, the service is incredible, but the one thing that many new business owners confront, especially at the beginning and throughout their journey based on the changing landscape, is the sales portion of things. I've met so many people who have an entire infrastructure of products built out, but they have no system or plan to sell those products. You know, sales is something that we're doing every second of our life in every different facet and area of our life. But sales is not something we're taught in school. We're taught history, English, geometry. We're not taught sales or even basic communication skills. And recently, we've been talking to two experts from the Ravé Strategy Studio all about sales. We talked to Steve Hunt, who talked about the language of sales, who talked about the system of sales, where we talked about the number one thing that holds many people back when it comes to entrepreneurs and small business owners. And I'm going to have links to that episode in the description so you can check it out afterwards as well. But today we're going to talk to the other half of Ravé Strategy Studios, the person with the name themselves, which is Katia Ravé. We're going to be talking about how you can take this philosophy and system of sales and use it to actually sell your product or service as a small business owner or an entrepreneur. You know the deal. When you take away any piece of value from the broadcast, share this show with one person, one entrepreneur, one salesperson who could use this information the most, but only if you took something out of it. We rely on you to grow the show, and you've helped us do that over the last 8 and 9 months. So without further ado, let's talk about sales and how to attract clients to your business with Katia Ravé. And for those who don't know Katia Ravé is the owner of a prominent business coaching company, consistently featured in podcasts, magazines, news in the USA, and on stages internationally. After nearly 2 decades in business, hundreds of transactions, 2 books, and diverse joint ventures, Katia knows what drives sustainable personal and professional growth. She is driven to empower business owners to take action on their goals and dreams, and she takes pride in providing the structure that supports a vision and environment of love, unity, connection, faith, trust, and abundance for families, businesses, and communities. And today we're talking about just that. So Katia, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Brandon. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
It's really exciting to be a part of the sales mini series where we're literally confronting some of the main things that people struggle with, because you heard me at the beginning. A lot of people have the product. A lot of people know how they want to help people, but they don't know how to have the sales conversation. They don't know how to generate leads, or they're confronted with some obstacles and they give up, right? We see it all the time. So let me ask you, Katia, what got you involved with this business of helping small business owners and entrepreneurs to sell their services and to generate leads for their business?
So I was very successful at many businesses. And then, so I continued to grow. And then suddenly I realized then I wanted bigger, right? So I actually built an entire spa. And the spa was huge with 3,000 square feet. And at some point I had up to 13 employees. And then the spa actually did not work. So from that, I was like, I will never get into business ever.
Wow.
And I went back to school. I decided to go and go to college, to go and to get an education. I got a bachelor in fine art, and I really got into photojournalism. I am actually a published photojournalist now. But what that transition did for me, I met all of these amazing photographers, graphic designers who were in school and who had no clue how to do business. So they would actually come to me and say, Katia, we know you had business. And I did have that imposter syndrome. I was like, I can't, I failed the last one. I forgot all of the successes than I did with the others. So I decided to take the time. I hired a coach and to take the time to really sit down to see where did the spa go wrong. We had the best product, the best employees, and yet we couldn't make the profit that we wanted. What went wrong? And then when we figure it out, I was like, oh my gosh, I get to really give to others. I get to give that back to others. I get to tell others how can they not repeat the same mistake than I did.
Mm. So
And I haven't stopped since.
and congrats on that. I absolutely
Thank
love that.
you.
And I saw all the success stories that you have on the website. And by the way, everyone, if you want to check out the website while we're here, the link is in the description. But obviously you've had a lot of success with what you're doing now. What would you say was when you did a deep dive with your coach on the first business, the spa business, what were some of the shortcomings that you noticed when doing an inspection of that business? What were some of the reasons why it wasn't as successful as you'd hoped?
Well, you said something fascinating at the beginning of the podcast. You said, a lot of people have incredible product, and it's true, we can have incredible product. But do we actually cater the product to the actual avatar, to the actual client? You see, all of my businesses before were all in the beauty industry, right? I had hair salons, so advertising and marketing for hair salons were absolutely one kind, and it's necessity. And then we moved into the spa. The spa is totally different. The spa is luxury. The spa is not necessity anymore. And you see, no matter how great our product was, we stayed in the same marketing and the same way of getting clients pre spa. So when you say yes, so many people have incredible product, but is it the product who is needed for their client? Because everybody, I believe, has incredible product. But do we survey our client? Do we survey the audience we're catering to see what they truly need? Because what I see, it's a lot of times some products are put there, out there, they're incredible, but they're incredible for us, for me, right? As the owner, I don't really think about what is the pain I fixing. Am I bringing a solution to someone's pain?
Well said. It's funny you talk about a survey specifically because when I first started working with a coach myself, and by the way, when I started working with a coach, guys, I think I've talked about this before. My results just last year alone, my business grew like over 800%. And it sounds like an absurd number, but I had the book, I had the
Yeah,
online course, I had the products, but I had no idea who my ideal person was. I had no idea who my target audience was. And the first thing my coach asked me to do is he's like, you should actually see what your audience wants. You
yeah,
should see what people actually say that they want. So I did a survey and I'm teaching on goal setting and emotional intelligence. But the number one thing that my audience wanted, it was actually like a staggering amount of people. They said they wanted more motivation, right? They wanted to be able to manage their time better, right? And these were the two buzzwords, manage time and motivation. And I realized, wow, none of my products talk about those two things at all. So now all of my messaging is this will help you have increased motivation to do what it is you want to do and achieve. So I give them what they want. And while giving them what they want, what I'm doing is giving them what they need in that
correct.
process. So the program is the same, but the way that I frame the program and speak about it to my ideal audience is very, very different. So is that something common you see with other business owners too?
Yeah, very much. I mean, when you have a concise message, a message will land, a message, then people can be like, oh my gosh, I relate. Then people are like, okay, this person is for me. And then when you work with them, as the coach, you're not giving them what they want. That's why you're the coach and they're the client, because they don't know. And a lot of time they don't know what they don't know. And this is
Mm.
your place to give them that. So you target them with a message, knowing like, hey, I know this is what you want. I know this is the words. Then who's gonna get it. Inside. Who's gonna get inside, and from that, you give them what they need. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. So let's just dig right into it. So you're working with an entrepreneur or a small business owner. They just signed up with you, right? And they say to you, Katia, I'm struggling with sales. I'm struggling on bringing new clients. I'm barely paying the bills. I'm barely keeping the business afloat, or I can't even take this thing off the ground, right? Where do you first dig in with a new client? when you're working with a new client? What does that process look like?
So first, I always say, I get you. We all been there. I think, when a coach also has been there and understand where the client comes from, there is something absolutely amazing about it. The second thing then we do as it's really we get out of psychological assessment. We get in committed action. You see, what is the number one holding back entrepreneur is they think so much, they are in creative mode, they stay behind the computer, and it's like, go and talk to people, see what they need. Survey. Survey is number one. Survey the people that you think are your avatar. And then look, are they really your avatar? After you figure out what the result of the survey, you're like, oh my gosh, maybe this is not my avatar at all. So then you don't stay stuck and keeping, because I chose this person as an avatar doesn't mean you can't move on and take another. And I believe, and as we grow our business, our avatar change because we change, we grow. Therefore, the company grows with you, and the avatar sometimes also change.
Yes. Who would you say is your avatar at this stage in what you do? Who is the avatar you've defined?
Entrepreneurs who make less than $350,000. They usually have maybe one or two people. They are either at the beginning, like right there, they don't know. They're like, I know I want to do business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm doing this on the side. I'm still having my corporate job, but I want to do this full time, but I'm not sure I can do it. Those are, and I love doing everything from scratch because we have a blank canvas. Or the people who've been in the business for a couple of years and they're not making any money. They're like, either this is it, I'm hiring someone and I'm doing it, I'm doing it right, and this is my last chance before I go and take a job. So really, like, those two are usually my avatar.
And it sounds like you came across that avatar after years of working with many different types of people, determining the people you most enjoyed working with, the people you were able to get the most results. And only until now, you've been able to define what that looks like. But at the beginning, how do you help somebody to even define who they think their target avatar is before they even do the survey?
I would say at the beginning, just offer, and this is where we get stuck, right? Go ahead and offer your services and sell it. Say, hey, Brendan, I would love to, like, have an enrollment conversation, and either Brendan say yes or no. I had some people said yes, and I fired people at the beginning. Like I remember firing, two people out of my client because I was like, oh, this is not what I want. This
How
is
did
not
you
how
know
I
that it
work.
wasn't what you wanted? How did you know?
Well, they were not. One of them was not driven. I work with very driven people. I know that, and this is something that I say. I work with driven entrepreneurs. They want to get results. People who work like me, just even now by speaking, they see my energy. So there's someone who want to respond to something like this, right? The personality type. We also get result. So people who I attract now, I have made my messaging so clear that I attract only driven people. I am not afraid of offending people. It doesn't matter what people think of me. I am here to cater. And whether I'm on stage in Rome, Italy, when I was the keynote speaker there, or I am in a little town of Greensboro, North Carolina, my message is the same. Usually the audience is divided in two. Either people love me and they're like, I want to work with someone like her, or either they hate me, and it's okay. And this is where, as an entrepreneur, when you start, you're going to see it's okay that not everybody likes you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge gift. So at the beginning, just go talk to people, sell, and see what works and what doesn't work. Assess is everything. Awareness is everything.
Isn't it interesting how, like, especially in this social media landscape, we're so afraid to have real conversations with real people because you even take a look at some of the later millennials, people in their late 20s, very early 30s, and then even Gen Z, people in their early 20s or their late teenage years. And like you said, they're so in the background to the operational things where we forget the simple idea of just going and having conversations with our target market. I was listening to an interview with the chief marketing officer of Tinder, actually. Gary Vaynerchuk was talking to him. And this guy's like in his late 40s, a successful C-suite executive. And he says, I still make time every single week to spend hours talking to college students, asking them, what language are you actually using? What part of the platform do you not care about? Where are we going wrong? So he constantly, every single week, is surveying his audience to see how he can improve, because he's out of touch with that audience. He's not part of that demographic anymore. So when you go to the audience or the ideal client, what questions are you asking in the survey? Are there some questions that are more important than others? What does that conversation look like?
I think that's it. There is no template. Just go with, especially when you're on stage or here, you just ask people to put things in the chat. Like, hey, I'm super interested to know who's listening to us right now. Go ahead and put it in the chat for me. Just this, is going to prompt, interaction. And then you go say, oh, wow, you're entrepreneurs. Are you guys solopreneurs, or are you guys, do some of you have employees? How big is your company? And then, from there, you continue, you go into your speech or you talk to them. And then, later on, you do a transition, or, I wonder how many people here have made, more than $50,000 last year. And people are like, me. So you kind of know. And at the end, you save your chat. All of this is surveying. And it doesn't cost you anything. You're already on stage. You're already talking to people. You're already on a podcast. And you're like, interesting. All right, I want to do more of this. So I want to make sure then, or you ask for words. Like, what are the 3 words this year who are going to drive your business? People are going to tell you those are 3 words that you would want to use in your marketing. If this is obviously, if you are within your avatar. Does that make sense?
It does. And I like, it's very natural, as if you were just having a conversation with someone. They tell you something that they're looking for, and you're able to help to solve that person's problem, is really what it comes down to. And I'm very step by step. I'm very practical in the way that I think about things. And I know there's other people listening who are like me. So I think, okay, step 1, right? Start talking to people, ask them great questions, gather information. After you have an idea of your target client, Katia, and you're having conversations with them, a lot of people struggle to break out of the networking and the conversation and the asking of questions and gathering information, and they struggle with transitioning it to an actual sales conversation. And you said, I asked them, I offer my services. A lot of people aren't naturally like that. And I can tell, I'm not sure if you've always been a natural salesperson. I have, in a way. You and I are similar in the fact that we're both high energy. We're both charismatic. We're both persuasive people, right? I always like to say, generally, the person with the higher energy, the higher vibration wins, right? The more certainty wins. So how do you help people to transition it from that information gathering session and transition it to a sales offer? What does that look like?
It looks like we get to be clear. I think there's so much mud into that. Then this is where things get lost. And many people spend time just being one-on-one calls who don't end up anywhere because they didn't make it clear. If you go to a networking event, for example, and then there is someone then who could be your avatar, you just make sure then they know what is that call going to be. So for me, I would say, hey, I would love to talk to you more about how I can support you. And I would love to set up a 30-minute conversation. In that conversation, I would love to hear what are some of your pain points and what are some of the, the problems that you have in your company. And if I am a match, at the end, I probably will ask you on how you can use our services. Is that cool? You want to jump on a call? So I make it very clear because my time is very valuable.
Yes, you're framing it from the beginning.
Correct. They know. And this is a call where I usually, and I don't make it like that that small, but I tell them, I say, you're definitely going to walk out with tidbits and with nuggets to use, because I want to make them worth their time. And that's it. Also, are you in giving in generosity even on a sales calls, right, on an enrollment call? Are you in giving into like, hey, this is not about me, this is not about Katia, when they get on this call, even when I propose to them, this is not about me closing a sale. It's about me having a solution to their problem. I make it about them, always about them. Here, when I'm speaking today, it's about your audience. It's what does your audience need? What do I believe they want? Right? It's not about me. People could care less about me. They actually could care less about you. And we get to be, when we are so clear about that, people don't even remember my name. They can't even pronounce my name. All they're going to remember is, oh my gosh, she had a lot of energy and I remember this from her. And this is how we can make an impact. So step 2, just make it clear about what the conversation will be.
Yeah, it's not personal. I like what you just said, because it's, if they say no, they're not saying no to you, Katia. They're saying no to your offer. I don't believe that I can serve you based on what you told me. It's, we get into this realm of, if they say no, they're saying no to me. They don't like something about me. It comes down to, quite simply, being clear about how you can help somebody, being clear about what that looks like. And I also find that people struggle, especially coaches. Do you work specifically with a lot of coaches?
We have coaches, we have people in the IT, we have people in cybersecurity, we have had accountants, we had Pilates people, so some coaches, but we do attract definitely others. So at the beginning we were only coaches, and we have definitely grown to a circle who's wider than that. So we don't say just coaches anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, coaches, speakers, consultants, a lot of, especially this whole trend of, I did a search the other day. There's over 86,000 people on LinkedIn alone who are active, who have the title in their LinkedIn profile as life coach. Just those 2 words, life coach. And it's not very clear, right? They're not sure who they want to work with. They're not sure of how they can help people. Like, sure, they know I can be your coach, but people don't buy coaching. Like what you just said, they don't even know your name sometimes, but what they do know is the solution and the outcome that you're going to help them with. Do you run into the problem when you're working with coaches and with anyone that you're working with, where they're not laser focused on what their result or outcome looks like?
Yes, definitely. And I think that's the beauty of it, because this is having the blank canvas. And someone who's telling you, I am a life coach, maybe what they need is for you to dig deep, for me as a coach to dig deep about what is it after 6 months of working with them then the client gets. For some, it's, wow, they're going to make more money because I really focus on this aspect, on the financial. Maybe it's, I really focus on accessing their zone of genius. Maybe it's, low self-worth, maybe it's leadership. So under life coach, there is so much. Then for me as a coach, I tell them, let's go ahead and separate and look where are your strengths. And then we niche down. None of my clients use the word life coach. They're either divorce support coach, or like we always find the one thing where they're amazing at, and then they can develop that.
Yeah, and I know there's coaches listening right now, which is why I asked that question. And like what you just said, the supposition that was baked into what you just said is that you've already worked with people and you're able to say, after working with this person for 6 months, these are the main results that I was able to get for somebody. Like, I wasn't very clear on my target audience or my results at the very beginning until I started working with people for free. And some people hear that and they're like, whoa, how could you work with someone for free? Right. And even with my first group program last year, it was very inexpensive. I didn't do it for free this time, but it was inexpensive because I wanted to see what I could really do for these people. We tend to think in our mind all the grandiose ideas and outcomes that we can do, but you really only know what you can do for others based on what you have done for others in the past. So don't be afraid to work with someone for a minimal fee to see that, oh, wow, I was able to help 3 people in a row make more money, create more time, create a higher self-worth for themselves. What could I label myself in order to present myself in a specific way for future clients who are going to
Yeah.
work with me?
Yeah, definitely. And when you really go that route, then you know where they hang out, right? You can
Mm.
be like specific on LinkedIn, like and hang out in those groups. I mean, life coaches. There's so many groups now. A divorce coach or a grieving coach or a money coach, financial coach. Like type that, and you niching down, right? So being specific without just putting a label for putting a label, you really get to look at your strength. What is it and what you did, Brandon. I love when you said that, because yeah, first of all, charging, even if it's just a little bit, people have skin in the game, right? So they're going to do the work. That's why you can use these results as a survey for something versus not, maybe not getting result because you didn't charge, but then people didn't have the skin in the game, so it had nothing maybe to do with you, had everything to do with them. Here they were like, hey, I paid, even if it was a minimum fee, I paid, so then you're getting results. So this is a big reason to charge as well.
Absolutely. It causes you to have more value in what it is
Yes.
you're doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I like how you said that, because even after going through that, you charge the minimal fee, but now you have a case study. Now you have a testimonial. So other people can actually see that you've helped people. It's one thing for you to say all the things you're great at, but people don't care about that. People, and like what you said earlier, I used to say this in sales when I was a sales trainer full time for a company. I used to always say this, and people took it the wrong way and they didn't like it at first. And people don't care about you.
That's right.
People are focused on themselves. People are asking the question, what's in it for me? Sure, after you work with them for a few months, they will more than likely develop a connection with you that you become their friend, you become their mentor. But at the beginning, they are asking the question, how are you going to help me? What are you going to do for me? What outcome are
Yeah.
you going to help me achieve? And I like how you said, yeah, you start to realize where your target audience hangs out and spends their time. So let's talk strategy, right? From the owner of the strategy studio itself, right? What are some of your favorite ways to generate leads and attract people to your business, especially once you start niching down, right? And you are someone who helps with those who are going through divorce or whatever it is. How do you help people to attract people to their practice and service?
Speaking, having a signature talk, speaking, understanding how to create a signature talk that converts. So there is many way of speaking, right? There is the TED Talks, there is the signature talks, and so many people, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so confusing. The keynotes, and there is a very big difference between delivering a TED Talk and delivering a talk who's meant to convert the audience into high ticket leads, right? So how do you do, and this is what we teach also our client, right? We teach them what is the exact anatomy of a speech that converts. So that's the one thing. We go on podcasts, we speak, our message is so clear. We know exactly what to say without really having a paper or a speech being like, oh my gosh, if Brendan right now is asking me a question totally left field, I won't be able to answer. So there is some speakers who actually provide questions to the podcast host or to any host, any event host, because they are so stuck. We teach our client to not do that. We get to be so in touch with what we do, with our message, That way we're very clear. And there's no two Katia. So you guys experienced before Steve, right? The other half of the company, right? Two different energy, two different way of communicating, yet the message at the core is the exact same. But we know then personality has a lot to do with it, right? And this is speaking is amazing. Our one of the things that we do with speaking is we also coach, and for us it's very important. We deliver value, right? It's not just a speech about Katia and how great Katia is, and Katia was from France, and they don't care. Obviously, they hear the accent, I mean, people ask about it, but you guys don't care about my past. Beside, then now, because that was an important part. Then I had a lot of successful business. I had one who fell. I went back to school and realized where I fell. That was an important nugget. Then I put in pretty much all my speeches at some point, right? Because people want to know that I failed at it and I experienced at some point where they're at. That's so important. And we deliver value. We never, and I rarely use this word, but we never hold back. We are always in giving and generosity when we speak. That means from the content, then we deliver as we speak, and also as a gift. Your opt in is how you get leads. Your opt in is how you get leads. What do you give? Now, in our company, we really look at would I, Katia, take my own freebie? If I say no, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And that is everything. You want people to take you home. It's like you go on a date, you have great coffee, first date, right? You have great coffee, great connection, great energy, and then suddenly you leave. You didn't leave your number. You didn't say, hey, I'm going to catch up with you, or I will. Like, you don't leave your audience hanging. Give them. And what kind of opt-in are you giving them? Are you giving them value? Are you give them pages and pages and pages and things? Then when they're going to look at it, they're like, wow, if this is what she gives me for free, how much will she give me when I pay her? This is what you want from your audience, right? A lot of speakers are like, oh, I'm not going to give this because, then they're not going to pay me. That is such a misconception, and that's not coming from a place of giving and generosity. For us, this is it. For me, my entire intention for everything is to create a world of love, unity, connection, faith, trust, and abundance. How do I do that for here? How do I do that for my client? How do I do that when I speak? And that is reflecting in my opt-in. Am I cheap? Or am I in scarcity versus abundance? Am I in faith? Then people are going to love it. And if I can help someone or support someone who's going to be like, wow, I can't really afford her, but she helped me to move the needle forward, I would have done my job of love, unity, connection.
Yeah. A lot of people are worried that with the freebie, with the opt-in, with the free gift, that they're going to give it all away and that somebody's going to have everything they need to go create the business or get through the divorce or whatever it is that they're being helped through. How do you coach someone through that fear of giving away? Like, you've heard the expression, you're giving away the farm, right? How do you help someone through that? And what are some of the more popular opt-ins and freebies that you help your clients create? Like, what are they putting into the freebie?
So what's interesting in this question, which is the question that many clients ask, right, is entrepreneurs are willing to not charge for their services at all, or charge just a little bit because they're like, oh, I can't charge that much. And yet they're worried about giving too much on an opt-in. Those two don't align. You charge what you're worth, and you really target what you want in your opt-in. What is the one solution, what is the one point, then you can really help and support your audience to move the needle forward. One, and then you dive deep into this. You obviously know then with that one point, you're going to support them, yet they still need the entire program to do everything. But you really supported them into that one thing. You pick one and you dive deep. That's where you really are in giving and generosity. You come from a place of really abundance and not scarcity. And, then even with that, people will still need you. And you get to charge premium. So it's fascinating for me when I hear that, because some coaches charge really anything, and they say, oh, like I'm doing some pro bono, or that this is not pro bono. We offer a solution to a pain that people have. In exchange there is money. It's it's currency. And if you don't have that exchange in money, you're really not in business anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can choose to do whatever you want for charity or for pro bono that that fancy you, right? Like it could be in a different thing, but your opt-in is definitely somewhere where you get to give.
And guys, when you're creating the freebie, when you're creating your own opt-in, don't overthink it. Like, you're already having these conversations with the people who are in your target audience. They're telling you exactly what they want. They want more motivation, time management. They want to earn more money, sign more clients, attract more business. Well, your opt-in could simply be 5 powerful ways to create more internal motivation in 2022. They put their email address in, they download it, they get to enjoy it in however form you deliver it. Like, they're already telling you what they want. So take the time to answer that question and give everything in there. So much to what you said, where after they go through it, they're going to say, wow, what would I get if I actually paid Katia to help me? Like, what would that look like? So let me ask you, a lot of people will download the freebie and the opt-in. They'll go through it. Many of them won't do anything with it, but some will, and some will go through it, and they're going to be thinking in their mind, wow, like, what would it be like to work with Katia? This is exactly what I need. How do you nurture the people who enter your sales funnel with the freebie to then make them into a paying client? What does some of that process look like for you?
So sometimes, depending on what freebie it is, or like where we're speaking, but sometimes some of the freebies are also, so they go to a page, they put their name, email, and then before it gets delivered, they get to see me again because they saw me speaking, right? They got some of my energy, and there is a video, and the video will say, hey, I don't know how you heard from me. It's usually something like that. Hey, I don't know how you heard about this, but you probably saw me speaking. And I would love to know, after you finish a freebie, go ahead and take an appointment on this calendar. And I would love to know what you discovered and how can I further support you, blah, blah, blah. And then go ahead, and there's my appointment link is under. So that's one way. And another way is we send emails. And in our emails, we are in giving and generosity. Something that I do is I do 90-day workshop free. And I just come up, sometimes I just look at my, my week. What does my week look like? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this, especially around the obviously the beginning of the quarter, or the end of the next quarter, I offer those, so people get to come back to me. It's not just email. I am a very I want to see people. I want them to experience me because I am one of the coaches, and I want them to see then, even for 1 hour, what they get. They're like, whoa, this is not possible. And this was free. And there's no offer at the end. It's just like, hey, let's hop on the call. It's totally in giving and generosity. Let's hop on the call. Did you get stuck anywhere? If you come on the call, you'll definitely get an extra sheet, a time management sheet. That way it helps you further. That way I'm making it even more about them getting something. And then on the call, they know for sure what the call is going to be. So yeah.
This is so valuable. I mean, we've gone through enough already in this time that we've been together for someone to go from starting off to potentially 5 figures a month just from the information we shared here. Talk to people. What problems do they have? Help them to solve those problems with your opt-in, with your freebie. Then create a conversation. We talked about what to do in that conversation. Make a clear offer, frame it in a way where it's like, if
Yes.
you and I working together makes sense, I'm going to offer you that opportunity and go into what that looks like. They get on the conversation, and one in however many you talk with will sign up with you and they'll become your client, or they'll purchase your product, or whatever it is you're selling or offering. The process is the same. Solve a problem, nurture that relationship, and help to guide the experience for that other human being to go from where they are to where it is they want to be.
Correct.
That's powerful. We've gone
It is.
through this is literally the art of business in the digital age is what we're
It
talking
is.
about. Tell me about your freebie that you have right now called the Daily Dose. What is the Daily Dose? Because it's in the links. People can go check it out. What is that?
Yeah, so the daily dose is, I say, it's having my voice in your head for 90 days. So just imagine, right? Just imagine every single day receiving a daily dose of Katia. It's basically a motivation, usually under 1 minute. Sometimes I go a little bit over. But like it's under 2 minutes. Sometimes it's 15 seconds. Say, hey, what are you committed to creating today? Today, what committed action are going to happen? You get this for 90 days. That's where it keeps keeping you, because you and I both know motivation is everything, right? This is why people stop going to the gym in the middle of February. This is why people don't do their resolution. This is why people stop showing up at their business, because they don't have that drive. And what would it look like for you to have that drive for 90 days? Hearing my voice, hearing my energy, hearing me pumping you up, saying, come on, why did you want to be an entrepreneur in the first place? Did you forget this morning? So all of this for 90 days, the entire quarter. I work a lot with my client on 90 days, right? Because we reach more, we do more, we make more money when we separate the year in 90 days than anything else. So you have my voice for 90 days every morning in your email, in your inbox.
I freaking love that. It's a really cool something to give someone, because it's not just a one and done. Like, you're there consistently over time to create a lasting result, not just here's a nice message, schedule a call. It's like, I'm going to be here every day for literally the next 3 months. So let's get down to business. Let's get some results for you.
Yeah. And this is an example, also, to take you guys behind the scene. This is an example of being in giving and generosity, right? This is such a great freebie. Now, did it take a long time? I mean, you can tell this is 90 days. It's 90 videos, 90 messages. It took some time to prep. Why? Because I believe then this is a huge part of success in entrepreneurship, and I want to be giving.
Absolutely. And it's something that you've built up over time. You didn't start there. It wasn't your first opt-in,
Oh,
but
that's
based
for
on
sure.
all of your experiences, that's where you've come to now, that you're able to give in the capacity that you're giving, right?
Right.
Now, I know that your program is kicking off this month, which is the Entrepreneur Academy Mastermind, which is, I
Yes.
looked into it. It looks incredible. Steve talked to me about it as well. And I know there's people listening who want to know what working with you closer actually looks like. So can you tell us a bit about the Entrepreneur Academy Mastermind?
Yes. Basically, you get 70 hours of me. At the end, we work together for a whole year. At the end of the year, not only you have your business set up, but you're making money. From January into May, we really built your business, go over your packages, your money mountain, how much, what are you charging? What does it look like? Is it set up? How are your packaging set up? Is it correct? Is it in a way who's attracting to your avatar. We go through your avatar, your pain. We go through leadership. Leadership is a huge part of of success. How do you show up in integrity, in rigor? Who are you? What are you? Some of your limited belief? What is some self-worth? Who's preventing you from charging what what you want to charge, what you believe you are worth, and all of that gets set up. And then in May, we have a huge retreat where it's all about sales. 2 intense days with Steve and I and the rest of our team, where it's sales and sales and sales. And on that retreat, the beauty is you make sales calls. So from everything is set up from January to May. And then May, when you have this retreat, we actually get you your own client. You get your own client. It's set up that way. That way we, one of the things then we say, it's if you can get your return on investment from investing with us, the quicker that happen, the happier you are and the happier we are, right? And then from May to December, we see what work, what doesn't work. You also understand, you get your speech. We support you into creating your own speech, so you get to understand what's the anatomy of a speech, then convert. We go over the opt-in, we develop the opt-in with you. And we have, so on these 70 hours, then there is 1 hour private every month, then they get with us. So your company becomes my company for 1 hour every month privately. The rest is as a group. And we meet on an average about 4 hours a month. 2 hours is with me, Steve, or me and Steve. And then 2 hours is with another guest. So 1 month, we have someone who's going to teach you how to do lives, how to do videos. Another month, we have someone who's going to come and teach you about branding. Another month, we're going to have someone who's going to come and teach you about what are the systems to take credit cards, like some of the regular silly things. Then sometimes we don't know, because this is it. Entrepreneurs go everywhere. They're like, I need someone for my group coaching. I need to hire someone for that. I need someone to do a speech for me. I need someone who's a business coach. I need someone for money. And then all that around, nobody's talking to each other. Basically, what we created is a one shop stop. You get it all. And if you want to write your book, we offer that as well.
What a program. Wow. That's like everything in one. And just imagine you're 2022 guys and you go through it, and now you're in 2023, but you started it with no idea of your target audience, no idea of your product, your signature talk, your opt-in, your avatar. Like, I started this journey in 2019, and I had no idea what I was signing up for. Like, I can't imagine going back and relearning all the separate pieces again that I went through, because now I've got the opt-in, now I've got the products, now I have an understanding of the client. But that took me almost 3 years to figure all that out on my own. Things really only accelerated for me once I invested into a program, invested into then a one-on-one coach who I work with. And this program is, like you said, it's a one-stop shop. It's all encompassing for everything that someone needs to either start their business or take a business they currently have and really just explode its growth with a community of support. And that community piece, it's so important.
It is. It's everything. Someone holding your hand and having, people who are like-minded, driven, and who want to get results. There is so much to be said. Then you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah. Yep. I absolutely love that quote. So when people are enrolling in this program, do they schedule a call with you? Is that what happens next? How does someone get themselves from where they are to being in this program and beginning that journey?
Yes, they schedule a call, and I don't know if I had given you my so I can give you my calendar link. But yeah, you basically schedule a call with me, and I talk you through, because there's obviously a lot of questions that people have about it, and basically we answer the question. We really go through what is it from beginning to end, and what are the results. So if you are a driven entrepreneur who want to get result, who know this is going to be work, because this is it, guys. I get to not want it more than you.
Mm.
You gotta want it as much as me. But when we have this kind of match, and this again, taking you behind the scene is really my avatar, someone who really wants it, this is it. We get results.
You are in charge. And I love how you said that. And the big thing that you mentioned, like I come from sales and I come from a world where people have had 10 years in sales experience, 15, 20, but the guy who's brand new to sales outperformed them by a matter of maybe 5 times or more. And it's because that person realized that they're the one who's in charge. No one else cares about you or your business the way that you care about you and your business. This year, if you want results, it comes down to recognizing where you're at, what struggles you have, and actually doing something in order to get to where it is you want to get to. If you haven't invested in a coach, into a program, and you're still not where you want to be, then what the hell are you waiting for, guys? Get yourself a coach, a program, whether it's Katia and Steve or Ravé Strategy Studios or anyone to help you elevate where you are now to where you want to go. Just get someone who has gotten results for other people, because that's a key thing. And Katia has gotten results for people. Look at the website, it's in the description here. I'm going to have Katia's calendar link in there as well, so you can take the next step to continue your own journey heading into this year with you and your business, which impacts every other area of your life. So my final question for you, Katia, is during this chapter of your life and your business, what is the vision for you now? What's most important for you in this chapter of your life? What's the impact that you want to make now?
My vision has not changed. My vision is still to bring a world of love, unity, connection, faith, trust, and abundance in entrepreneurs who are so down, and who are maybe like I was after the spa, going like, this is not for me. And we get so small. This is it. Love, unity, connection, faith, trust, and abundance is my vision. And I bring it to my client. I bring it into my marriage. I bring it to my relationships. I bring it everywhere, in every corner of my life.
That's a beautiful mission. And I like how you said that the vision hasn't changed. The medium has changed. The way you deliver it has
Correct.
changed, but the vision itself has stayed a constant.
Correct.
That's absolutely incredible. Katia, it's been a pleasure having this conversation with you. Thank you for all that you've shared with our audience. And I look forward to seeing you go throughout this program this year with the group of people who decide to join you.
Thank you so much for having me, Brandon. Thank you, guys.
Bye. This conversation has gone from absolute beginning of a business as a coach, consultant, speaker, small business, brick and mortar, virtual, whatever kind of business you are, to exactly where it is you want to be. Whether you want to be a 6-figure business or you want to be in the heights of 7 figures, 8 figures, the strategy is the same. Find a target audience, someone you can serve, find out what their real problems are, solve those problems, deliver value, give. And then for those who are ready for that next step, enroll them in your vision, enroll them in your plan, your program, and help them to get truly extraordinary results. But again, only enroll with people who are going to take charge themselves. Only enroll people who are going to take the actions and execute on the plan. And Katia gave you the step-by-step. My biggest takeaway from this is giving. And even what Katia said at the very end, having a vision that stayed constant. Regardless of how you help people, what is the vision for your life? Like for me, it's helping people achieve self-mastery and live an extraordinary life. Right now, I happen to do that working with sales professionals and sales teams and other coaches to help them give their services and products to the world. But in 10 years, we're going to be like holograms beaming into people's homes. The vehicle will change, but the vision's always going to stay the same. So what is your vision? I hope you got a ton out of this conversation. Links are in the description to go check out Katia's website, her social profiles, as well as to schedule a conversation with her and for her daily dose so that you can get a little bit of Katia in your ear every single day for the next 90 days to build massive momentum for you and your business. Thanks so much for tuning in. And until we talk again next time, continue to be better.